sometimes people want to know, if they're new here, they say, where should I start? What should I read first? What should I do first?
Yeah, so that way I want to make this as a kind of people to read. Just skip through. You want to. Okay, so we're continuing from based on there's a text called the ornament of jewel ornament of the liberation. So this text originate, I think, can say motivated from the text that is wrote by the Midriya to Asanga, ornament of the Mahayana Sutra, which is actually going through continue on the Tuesday. And later when Tibetan, they're starting, and actually what happened is that Tibet happened similar like West. The West right now, what's going on in the West. People kind of like a chaotic when come to the Dharma practice. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to establish. And they're just chasing after name, population, popularity, and it just window shopping, and many times. So I think that is a big problem for somebody who really want to seriously follow to the Dharma, and they don't have enough kind of like guide. So I think that reason Adisha really emphasizing on this step by step, this, because many people try to go to the, I noticing in the West also happened, this one is they try to go to the highest one, when there's something high things going on, people really attractive on that. And then they try to memorizing few words from those high one, and they said they are kind of like a Dzogchen practitioner or this and that. And it's not, it doesn't work that way, reality is it like it's like similar, like without going any kind of a schooling and just said, oh, I want to become a PhD. That you just want to join the PhD program and just remembering the few words from the PhD, chapter, whatever, the course, and you said, okay, I'm doing PhD on this Dzogchen, for example. Then you said Dzogchen means this is this. Do you just remember in the few words and said, now I'm expert with the Dzogchen? So it's like that. It doesn't work, But the people, sometimes people kind of like they deceive themselves, and they think they are kind of they think they are getting there, but actually not really, So I think I don't know how to express this one, but I think it's a healthier to. I'm not saying everyone should go to step by step, because some people may not need to go, but that one is like 1% one. And everyone think I'm that 1% one, I'm the special one, I'm the choosy one. So I don't think so. Everyone is a 1% one. Then that is not a 1%. So sometimes people have this attitude, yeah, I know this is like special one, then I'm the choosing one. That way I have this connection, like it has with the Milarepa. Milarepa, when one masters, went to see one master, and that master said, my teaching is so special. If you practice daytime, you liberate the daytime, that day. If you practice evening, you liberate that day. And special, special one, really special one, no need to practice. You will liberate. So the Milarepa thought, I'm sure I am the special one. Because I meet with this great master, so he just chill out, So after a few days, the master asked how things going on with your practice, and he said he has nothing to show up. And then that master said, I think I said too much to you. I mislead you. I think I'm not going to, my teaching not going to helpful for you. So then he introduced the marba, and so things like that, sometimes we deceive ourselves, or maybe I'm the special one, I'm choosing one. So other than that, it's healthier to go to step by step, but lots of people don't want to go to step by step, they just want to jump to the final one. Conclusion one said, okay, I'm this way, and then they said, I'm expert this and that. I don't know how much expert you are. I cannot judge anyone, except Buddha. No one can judge, but you can tell yourself exactly who you are. There nothing secret with yourself. If you feel you cannot tell what you have, if you feel you cannot tell who you are, that means you are nobody. Actually, you don't have. If you have, then you definitely will know clearly. So it's not a secret to yourself, but from the other perspective, other person's perspective, everything is a secret, because we cannot tell anyone who they are. Sometimes, like, there are lots of history. If you look the history, there's a great practitioner, they always come with the ordinary form. They never come with a fancy one. And actually, in the Tibetan culture, even nowadays, when Lama is acting fancy way, and people don't see that is a really good Lama. Honestly, they seeking their name, title, and they promoting themselves. And also funny part is a lot of these days, they using English word, or the His Eminence, like I am His Eminence. They don't understand the English word of his is not talking about yourself. His means that someone else, but then they introducing themselves, I'm His Eminence. If you look the all those great masters, when they wrote the book, they never write themselves, I'm Rinpoche. You're not going to see any book they call themselves Rinpoche. Rinpoche is not title. Rinpoche is a respectful word, honorable word for someone else respect you. Yeah. No, that's it. He didn't wrote. That's it. Yeah. So the author, really, if you look at all the author for the book, everyone, they never call themselves as a Rinpoche. So that is how we have to, from you, how to represent yourself. And if you truly Rinpoche, you don't have to ask to people to call you Rinpoche. They will call you Rinpoche. so I don't know. This is not my job. But what I'm saying is, if you don't feel confident of you have a certain realization or a certain understand, that means you don't have realization or understand. If so, that's nothing secret to you yourself, who you are. So that way it's healthier to go step by step, like this book. It tell you how to start a Mahayana step by step. It's much healthier. you know um, um, so in this book is going through the step by step. Like, first we're talking about the Buddha nature. It's talking about the working like foundation. Talking about the foundation as a Buddha nature. Then but even every sentient being have a Buddha nature, but it cannot be everyone be good practitioner, because you need a working basis. So what is called a working basis? A precious human life. And but even you have a precious human life, it cannot be, you can be good practitioner until you meet with a spiritual master. But then, and even you meet with a spiritual master, if you not work from your depth of the heart, dharma, that spiritual master cannot make you liberation. So then said, after the spiritual master, there's a still you can have this four obstacle to liberations, because of the being attached to this life's activity, being attached to the pleasure of samsara, being attached to the peace, and not knowing the method of how to liberate. So these four obstacles we go through, lots of people go through. Because of that, the first is said, what is the antidote of the being attached to this life is impermanent. Because sometimes we just focusing 100% for this life. I mean, somebody told me, say that these days most of practitioners they're practicing according to that this life's benefit. They're just focusing on how much improvement come for these lives, how to become a successful, how to become a wealthy, and so most of their focus is how to help for this life. So that reason I think some of deity are more popular than some other one, like a Jambala and Medicine Buddha. This is just kind of they basically try to use the temporary improvement of this life. But this life, no matter, I mean, even Buddha himself said, you must be healthy and stay long life. But if your own focus is only for this life, no matter how much you take care, one day you have to lose this one. You're not going to have this forever, no matter how. And with Tibetan said, when time comes, even you're a physician, you will, die. So even physician themselves cannot treat. So that reason we need to meditate on the impermanent. That and what is helpful for the impermanent is when you think about the impermanent, actually you think for more long-term benefit, like if you think about the impermanent, then you may think, okay, phenomena are impermanent, but when I died, what I'm going to take with me, what will I come with me? So then it helps you to, something that when you die with the rich, carry on with you something good. It doesn't matter religion or your religion or non-religion, doesn't matter. Long as you do something good, it will come with you, and then second one is being attached to the pleasure of samsara. So being attached to the pleasure of samsara mean that just we only seeking for the temporary benefit, but that is not knowing of the faults of samsara, because in the samsara, I think this is what we can say is anything you think that give you the pleasure or joy, but it will end up with the suffering. Anything that's, even the food, clothes, so there's nothing purely joy can give you. It's kind of mixture, it gives you some degree of joy and happiness and comfortable, but same time there's more. So that reason, actually, if you look the livelihood, 100 years ago, life is a quality is much better than now. Now its quantity is much better than before, 100 years ago. Now we have so many things that never exist before. Those things make much easier our life. Many things that is change, improve, make a greater, like for example, now you can carry on the cell phone and you can use so many things within that one, and so many the technology improvement, but same time the price is really high. So that reason, all time one family member work and can feed for the whole family from one working, one person working. Nowadays, all the husband and wife are both working, but still they have a really kind of like a tight with paying the bill. So that reason our quantity is improved and it's much better, but quality is not that good actually. Getting harder. People have a more stress, more difficulty. I mean, if you look this way, then I don't know, all those gadgets and improvement of the technology and everything make better and bigger and larger, and it make our life easier or harder. If you look that way, then that is showing as a faults of samsara. I mean that no matter how much you gain, it's not going to give you purely joy. So the one Tibetan Lama said, if you have one sheep, your suffering or size of suffering is a sheep, But when your sheep is you have a little bit more money from that, and you buy the horse, then your suffering exchange also become a size of a suffering is a horse. So, I mean, if you have one bedroom house, your suffering is a one bedroom house. But when you improve your two bedroom, and your suffering increase too, include the pay bill, cleaning, taking care, everything. So this is that way samsara. No matter how try to make it's nothing purely uh, joy. They always come with the uh, some, mm, downside. Yes, yeah. So I think that way we have to understand the faults of samsaras. Then it helps us to you know don't deceive ourselves to all our energy and focus put on the just achieve the pleasure of samsara and wasting for that. And the third one is a loving kindness and compassion. I say, if you don't have loving kindness and compassion, you cannot get to the like ultimate nirvana of the Buddhahood, because and some degree you will stop. So what make you push more is a loving kindness, compassion. Like like if you are escaping from the dangers, and the other side of the river is really dangerous, but then you just cross the river and you get other side, then you're free from the dangers. So now if you don't have other responsibility, you are free, then you don't do anything. But if all your loved one is left behind, the danger zone, you will do everything your power to try to bring them also out of the dangers. So that for that, then we have to work harder. So that help to bring to the Buddhahood. So that is that reason we have to meditate loving kindness and compassion. Now here, what is the non-knowing of a method of a Buddhahood? Because Buddhahood is like somebody said, I think this is really good. Freedom is not free. I think Thich Nhat Hanh or someone said, freedom is not free. When you want to gain something, it's not come free. You have to sacrifice. You have to put effort. Like in even the mundane way, if you want to be really successful life, if you want to be really comfortable life, you have to work hard. You have to sacrifice a lot to achieve that one, because there's nothing come freeload, and everything is have a price, and you have to pay the price. So the reason Buddhahood is not like a can say just Buddhahood is not just idea. Yeah, Buddhahood is not just idea. Buddhahood is a real, actual. Anyone can get there, but it's not like a you cannot just hitchhike. This is from that to you're not going to get there. So that way you have to know method of how to become Buddhahood. So that is showing actually path is here now. Said antidote of non-knowing. Oh, sorry. I will share you this. So here said antidote of the non-knowing. The method of practicing achievement Buddhahood. So now this will be explained the Dharma of the cultivating mind toward to the supreme enlightenment as an antidote of not knowing the method of the practice. So this one, okay, I think we should go to, I will read from the jewel ornament because this is important.
That's that introduction.
Is there?
Yeah, right before chapter if you go back to the page, it's got the introduction to the antidote.
Oh, in the jewel ornament text, I thought you say here. No. So that way we need to put this.
Need to add that to the outline.
Yeah. What page?
It doesn't have a page number, but it's after 132.
Yeah.
And there's 2 pages without numbers.
Okay. Yeah, so now we'll explain the Dharma of the cultivating the mind toward to the supreme enlightenment as an antidote to the not knowing the method of the practice of the achieving Buddhahood. Summaries: foundation, essence, class, object, cause, from whom you receive it, method of benefit, effort, advantages of the losing it, and the cause of losing it, method of aspiration, training, and 12 compare. Okay, so this one, actually here, this one is a foundation. It's talking about the belong to the Mahayana family. Oh, yeah, already here. So the foundation. Okay, so sorry. Here. Belong to the Mahayana family. One should be in worldly families. So this one is a Mahayana. We already gone through. What is the Mahayana? What is the sign of the Mahayana? But I will read later on the sign when come to later. And has taken refuge in the 3 jewels, maintaining the 7 Pratimoksha vow, and has aspiration bodhicitta. So this is talking about the foundation of the cultivation of the mind of a supreme enlightenment, and it means the talking about the Bodhisattva vow. And who is a Bodhisattva? Is it this one? Somebody who belong to the Mahayana family, mean that they have the what called the workable base for the Mahayana. So somebody who have to have a courage, compassion, patient enough to can do something that not only themselves, for other people. Like when you're working for the government office, normally it's not that easy. Everybody cannot do that one. When you're running for the public office, you need, supposed to be, you need some special quality to become. But sometimes, like you cannot find a suitable candidate for that. So that way, I think this one, and has taken refuge in the 3 jewels. This one we're talking about today is going to talk about the take refuge to the 3 jewels. Taking refuge. I think lots of people have this concept of taking refuge as a kind of people using like a Buddha or deity as a handyman, can say. Yeah, I think this is like, for example, when your something is not good in your life, what we do is we just pray to the one particular deity or someone to fix that problem. But we never try to understand the source of that problem. Make sense? So I think that is that way. Sometimes we're using the 3 jewels or deities or those all as a kind of like handyman to just want you to request them to fix your problem, but you don't want to be free from what make the problem. Like some people go to the doctor and ask him medicine, but they never stop doing from their attitude to causing to sickness. And they want to do continually. Like, I have this habit of eating Indian food. Even it's it burn my stomach, it's really hurt. But sometimes forget. Then what I do is I take medicine. So that reason, like Gandhiji said, those three people are really bad for. One is a doctor, he said. Because of the doctor, people never discipline themselves. They just take medicine whenever have problem. They think that the medicine just take care of the other problem. Then they never consider about what is really mainly causing the problem. So they never try to see that problem. So I think sometimes we use it as a 3 joules or deity as that kind of way to practice. Make sense? So I think that is maybe a little bit more mistaken. So you have to know what is the taking refuge mean. In order to give a refuge, one should be firm. If all fear has no suffering. So what does this mean? So this is talking about who can give you the refuge, because a lots of time, particularly in Asian culture, people worship to the spirit. Lots of spirit they worship, like really powerful spirit, and they worship. When they worship, they can give you some degree of help. They will help you some part, but they cannot help you to help you to cure your source of problem, because they don't have that idea. They don't have that method. So it's like when you rely on them, that local spirit, taking refuge with them is like same as you taking painkiller medicine. Make sense? Just try to make comfort a little bit, but you not really try to find a way to permanent solution, because they don't have the permanent solution. They cannot give you that permanent solution. Why? Because they themselves is not free from that problem. They have that problem, So so I think these reasons why here saying is in order to give refuge, one should be free from fears and have no sufferings. Somebody who free from the fear and no suffering. But the worldly beings, no matter how powerful they are, they have suffering and they have their own fears. So this is I think Westerner maybe not going to get this one, why they're talking about this one, but Asian people, most people can understand, because there are so many local spirit puja, can say prayer. They do worship for the local spirit. Some people go to the tree, some people go to the river, some people go to the mountain, some people rock, and the spirit live there, and they do the offering and the worship, that one. And then sometimes it help. Like even the Tibetan Buddhism, sometimes there's called the Dharma protectors, and certain spirit. They are powerful at the moment. They really help you to some degree, but then later it really harms. So like His Holiness Dalai Lama have to ban one particular spirit, which is the name of the Dharma protector, but it causing harm in later. Many people have a really bad experience of the death. So I think this reason showing as a worldly powerful being cannot give you actual refuge, because they cannot make you free from suffering. Make sense? Yeah. So that reason here saying is in order to give refuge, one should be from free from this missing. One should be free from. Free is missing the word. Free from all fear and not suffering. So that someone who have to be that one. So that way, sometimes we have this spirit also using Buddhism. We use those spirit, but they are like kind of serving. They are kind of like when you hire someone come to take care of your things, fix for you, then you pay them. So just kind of exchange there something. They say we have some way to do the Dharma protector puja, and some of those Dharma protector are spirit. They are not enlightened beings. So we give them food, but they also we not worship them. We not take refuge with them. So those beings not allowed to be feel of a refuge in the image. They're not allowed to be there. Feel of the refuge is only enlightened one. So even you practicing the certain spirit for the using for the Dharma protector, but they're not allowed to become qualified to take refuge. Make sense? So yes, we have some of spirit are, the worldly beings, but how to treat them as a not same as a other spirit who enlightened one manifests as a Dharma protector like a Mahakala and Achi. They are truly enlightened beings manifest as Dharma protector, but there's some spirit. So those are different. So that way, the reason is they cannot give you the refuge. Why? Because they are not free from suffering. There's one story. One Bodhisattva want to receive the teaching of Panjana Paramita from one Buddha. Okay. So but he's poor, he have nothing, no money. And traditionally when you receiving teaching or when you're requesting, you have to arrange your offerings. So you have to, he want to arrange your offering, but he have no money. So what he want to do is he want to sell his part of the body, flesh, bone, anything somebody want to buy. And then whatever he make money from his part of the body, I mean, these days people can sell the blood. So I'm not encouraging on that, but that's what. So he want to sell his body to make a little bit money to then he can buy the offering materials, okay, substance. So he was on the market. So the Indra came to test on his, what called courage. So Indra form as a kind of like some sage, not sage, or what called some kind of like a yogi. Okay, he said, I don't need much, but I need a little bit bone and some what called that calcium inside the bone, calcium and some flesh to do some ritual. Can you sell me that one? And that Bodhisattva was so happy that somebody buying his body. He happily cut without the hesitation, happily cut his flesh. And when he cut the flesh, he had no, the regret and a sense of a feel of a pain. He was so happy. He was so joy. And he happily want to break his bone when he put in the stone. And then the Indra said, okay, stop. Then he showed his own body. Indra his own body, and he asked, are you not regret doing this one? He said, no, I'm really happy to sell part of my body, that way I can offer in this Bodhisattva. And so that is a long story, but then end up this Indra was so amazed with this Bodhisattva's courage. And now this Indra said, okay, now ask whatever you want, I will give you. What is your request? Just ask me. So Indra was taught, maybe he going to ask him to, offering material, like a flower and things like that. But then he said, just give me the liberation. And Indra said, this is beyond my ability. Because Indra is not liberated. Make sense? So sometimes people worship these kind of powerful beings in the samsara. They can help you a little bit, but they are not object to take refuge. For the person who take refuge, they have to be free from suffering and free from fears. So that is the main qualities, so that way. This refuge basically is, maybe you can say, there's a many different refuge, but basic refuge itself is the same, but a person who take refuge, it make a little bit different. So that way it's divided into two: common refuge and uncommon refuge, special refuge. So common refuge is talking about the common mean the everyone. Like Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, everyone have to practice on that. So that were common, and special one is only Mahayana. It's a little bit different. It's a what different is a okay. We read this one. One who fear of suffering in samsara and hold the three jewels as a deity, the object to take refuge, object of refuge are. So three jewels. There's a three. This is a jewel is actually. Uh, uh, why they call the three jewels? Because historically, there's called the wish fulfilling jewels. There's historically, so that jewel will fulfill all your wishes, whatever you wish, they give you that one. So they say three jewels are like that. Actually, much more than that, because that wish fulfilling jewel only give you the mundane benefit. They cannot give you the liberation. But there's no other example. So that way called the three jewels. And so as an object to take refuge. Buddha jewel, the blessed one who possess the perfection of the purification, promoted wisdom, and excellent qualities. So this is a talk about the Shakyamuni Buddha, Nirvana Kaya one. Also, Buddha is a purifying all the obscurations. There's no subtle obscuration, cognitive obscurations, anything exists. Buddha have no pure obscurations. So and that way, why he had this perfection is because he had complete primordial wisdom. Because that way he was possessed the perfection. So the excellent qualities. I think this is, you can say, you know, you can tell this one. Until now, actually, no one can point Buddha's teaching there's something wrong. You know, lots of people, they don't like Buddha. They don't like Buddhism. But nobody can point that Buddhism have this problem. Really true problem. There's no fundamental problem. Of course, there's a little bit culture different. There's some language barrier, and there's some, yes, there's maybe people have a hard time to understand. Like some prayer said, you pray to the not reborn woman. Make sense? So that's you have to go back to the culture and that time's situation. But if you look really fundamental of the Buddhist teachings, there's no one can point that the Buddhist teaching have this fundamental problem. Actually, there's no one said until now. There's no somebody like a really like pointed Buddhism have this problem. Really, nobody can do that one. Why? Because the Buddha really kind of have a, can say like a deep understanding of the wisdom. So I came up when I'm just mentioning me. Somebody said, I'm not sure Buddhism, but I think Buddha is a really smart guy. one of the smartest person on the earth. So that is showing us his wisdom, his ability, his understanding is so deep that and no matter how long goes, it's still relevant. It's still fresh. When something is relevant, it always remain as a fresh. So that is what does Buddha mean, you know. And also here saying is a perfection and excellent quality is in the Hinayana tradition, all the arhat are enlightened beings, and Buddha is also enlightened being. For them, just same enlightened. But even same enlightened, lots of things that Buddha knows, they don't know. You know, like Shariputra couldn't know that one guy have a seed of nirvana, that Buddha can see that one. And Mogayana, he doesn't know where his mom was born because she was born far away this planet, different galaxy. She was born some far, so that way his wisdom of reaching, seeing the, far away of the wisdom eye, couldn't reach that power. So things like that. So even the arhat couldn't see, couldn't understand many things that Buddha can see and he, understand. So that way, Buddha's excellent quality is excellent. That is what is Buddha mean, completely free from different. This is talking about the Nirmanakaya Buddha Shakyamuni, the person who taught us the Dharma. Then his teaching is called the Dharma jewels. Dharma jewel is literally counting as a 12 aspect of the Dharma, and the Dharma of the realization, which is considered of the truth of the path and the truth of the cessation. So Dharma, if you look the Dharma, there's a two called the Dharma as a transmission and Dharma as a realizations. Dharma as a transmission means that like we talk, we can talk. I can tell you, I can explain you, you can explain to someone. And so whatever Buddha explained, I can hear, I can understand. I don't have to be enlightened for that. And I can understand. That is what is transmission mean, transmit from one to another. Then you can understand what I explained. Then you have idea, you have a knowledge, you have understand. Then that understand you can share to someone else. So that is what is the Dharma of the literature mean, the continuing. So like a 12 branch of the Dharma, excellent Buddha's teaching. So those are so that's all is a Dharma of the literature. So which is you can write down, you can read, you can talk, you can share that idea, you can share the knowledge. This all is a whatever express, you can express. That is called the Dharma of the literature. Sometimes it's called the Dharma of the transmissions. Yeah, scripture. Yeah, scripture, literature, transmission. I think pretty much same. Yeah, that means that like a person to a person, you can discuss, you can talk, you can share, you can pass through. Without the realization, you can do that one. And the Dharma of the realization is when you practice that one, you have a sudden experience, you have a sudden realization comes in your own personal gain. May not necessarily you can explain all those details, but still you can get the realization. So this is called the Dharma of the realizations. Path and cessation mean that when you practicing, you are on the path. When you practice continually, you will get to some conclusion from that path. When you follow to the path, you will get somewhere. Cessation means that you are free from suffering, samsara. So Dharma of the literature cannot give you that one, cessation, because it's not your own realization. Make sense? So Dharma of the literature is talking about the mostly is that you like reading text, talking about the Dharma. All those we share, we discuss through what we do each other, through person to person, from the human language to can describe. This all is called the Dharma of the literatures. But then that understand have to put to practice. When you put practice, it become a path and Dharma of the realization. When you're realizing, and you will gain the realization result. That result is called the cessation. So there is the Dharma is divided into two: Dharma of the literature and Dharma of the realizations. So normally, when talking about the Dharma as a literature, easy way to can say like three baskets. All the Buddhist teaching put the three categories, three baskets, three categories called the Vinaya categories, Abhidhamma categories, and Sudra categories. So this three category is called the three baskets, three Pitakas. So that is you can write down, you can read, you can teach, you can go through discussions. But then the Dharma of the realization is three trainings: training of the morality, training of the samadhi, training of the wisdoms, which means that you train. Morality basically train your physically restrained, disciplined. Physically disciplined is called the training of the morality. And training of the samadhi is a mind trained, discipline of your own mind. And training of the wisdom is then through that too, you can gain some special insight realization. That's called the training of the realization. So that's talking about the two different type of dharma. Then Sangha Jewel is the ordinary Sangha as a community of the 4 or more fully ordained one. The Sangha for the noble being is called the 4 pairs or 8 individuals. So, okay. Sangha is a plural word, more than one, basically. Because so more than one is as a quality way or number way. So when come to the number way, then noble sangha, especially in the object to the taking refuge, have to be noble sangha. Noble sangha is basically talking about the enlightened one. Remember earlier I said worldly being cannot give the refuge, but if there's a 4 fully ordained together, we believe 4 fully ordained together can have a quality of 1 noble beings. Certain area when like a 4 monk comes, I think Tibet, and also I heard in the Bhutan too, when 4 monk come, basically when monk comes, people show the respect. But when 4 monk comes, they really fully, they come down from the horse and show the respect to until the monk pass. So it's just a kind of like a 4 fully ordained 4 monk have the same quality as the enlightened one. So that way, lots of people, they do the Sangha Dana offering, Sangha offering. If you do the Sangha, it's a much more powerful than you offering one individual. Make sense? But lots of people have idea of, just offering one High Lama and it's better than just Sangha. Actually, Sangha is more powerful. Because Sangha is kind of like even they are kind of small energy, but all the one come together, prayer, everything is like all those small energy become one. Make sense? So that way it's become a really powerful energy. So Sangha or 4 pair and 8 individual is talking about the Arhat. The Aryan means the enlightened one. The enlightened one, they have a 4 pair and 8 individuals called the stream, 1 return, no return, and Arhat. This is called the 4 pairs. And this 8 individual is the stream, stream, it have 2. One is on the path, one is on result. And also 1 return have 2. One is on the path, one is have realization. So that way it's become 8. Basically, it's talking about all those 8, 4 or 8 as same things. Basically, those enlightened beings. So they are object to the taking refuge. And special refuge is a person who possesses the Mahayana family and pure body of the God and human, the object to refuge, abiding in the front of us, is a fully realizing suchness. Okay, so this one, who is the possessing the Mahayana family? I told you that I will read. So this one is important. If you have a jewel ornament, look the page 55. In the 55, this is a quote, it's from the ornament of the Mahayana Sutra, said, develop compassion, the preparation stage. It's mean the motivated by the compassion. What is different from the common refuge and the special refuge is a different motivations. Common refuge motivated by the fear of samsara, they want to take refuge. So they want to just free from some samsaric suffering. Special refuge or Mahayana refuge is motivated by the compassion. They're not taking refuge for their own liberation. They're taking refuge for benefit of other sentient beings. Like, what is different with a person who single and a person who a family person? Yeah, single one, when they get a job, they get it for their own sake. Yeah, they don't have any responsibility. But somebody have a family, when they get a job, they're not getting for themselves. They get a job for a whole family. So the Bodhisattva is motivated by the compassion. They take a refuge. So that way, it's a Mahayana family mean that the somebody who have a purely compassion toward to the other sentient beings. That is the main reason Bodhisattva take refuge. So that way, and the pure body of God and human mean the like a workable body, like somebody who can practice the Dharma, because physically body is not really helpful, have a good condition, then mind cannot practice the Dharma. So that reason, we have to keep, I always say this one as many times, we have to keep healthy our body. We have to take care of our body. Yeah. So then we can practice, we can meditate. If our body is not healthy, our body is not really, fit for the practice, then mind alone cannot practice. When your body is weak, your body is really kind of like, suitable to, then it's difficult. So need like a, healthy body. That is what it means. So, okay. Okay, then this object of refuge according to the Mahayana, in the front of us. What is the front of us? Fully realized one and suchness. So it's divided into three. So this front of us, like nowadays, we cannot see the Buddha, but what is front of us? Buddha's image, like lots of people nowadays in the West using Buddha's image as an art. That's not good. I saw in Chicago, they make Buddha's image with a trash can. That's disrespectful. Really, Buddha's image must have to be something that is the identity to excellent. Something you cannot use as a Buddha as an art, because sometimes people try to make, oh, this is my version of the Buddha, and make really like a big ear or some kind of big eye. That all those disrespectful the Buddhism. So like if you go to Thailand, you're not allowed to use any Buddha's image related to the Buddha, to the tattoo or anything. So I don't like this idea of a people modern art. They're making Buddha. I saw one photo in the Chicago. In they're kind of like in middle of the park, in a public park, and they make Buddha's Buddha's statue with a trash can, kind of like so that is I think really disrespectful in the Buddhism. For my view, Buddha's image must be representative of the excellent, something good. Make sense? Yeah. So because through the Buddha's appearance, you have to see the quality. Make sense? So because like a Christian, when they put the Jesus on the cross, they have some reason to why they put that image. Make sense? There's a history, there's a meaning. So related to that meaning, related to that teaching, you have to make that image. If you unreliable something, you make an image, it's not becoming representative of the taking refuge object. Make sense? So that way you have to that image bring to the sense of this is the reason I'm taking refuge. Make sense? So that way cannot be using so many different things as an object to the Buddha. So have to be image of the thus gone one, embodiment of the three kayas. So you have to be um, um, uh, uh, Buddha have to be representative embodiment of the three kaya, Dharma kaya, Nirvana kaya, Sambhoga kaya. Those all quality of that three kaya have to come out from that image. They show the representative of that image show up like as earlier I mentioned about the Christian Jesus. When they put on him cross, they said Jesus went through the suffering for the sake of sentient beings. Make sense? That way they show the image of his suffering one. They have a story. They have a reason to put that one. Similarly, Buddha's image is a representative of the embodiment of the three kayas, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. So that have to be major and minor mark. Have to be. You cannot just random make the Buddhist image and sell the art or so like that. I don't like that one. But I mean, nobody can control this. Is democracy, can do anything you want. But actually, it come to the spiritual way. Is it kind of disrespectful? Yeah. If somebody show that Jesus is a really fat one and enjoying lots of food around, nobody will like that one. People will really offense with that. Make sense? Yeah. So if that you make Buddha as something like that, it's not going to be. So it have to be something that's Buddhism. We said Buddha is adorned with the major and minor marks. So no matter how you make the image on that painting, image on the statue or anything, size doesn't matter, but you have to make that as that measurement. Buddha have special measurement of the physical appearance quality, and you have to make that one. If you try to make the Buddha's head is a Buddha, but a short arm, short leg, or kind of fat one, and things, and it is not become Buddha. Make sense? So when said Buddha, then you have to come out with that representative of the quality, that appearance of his physical appearance. Makes sense? The image have to be that way. So that one, and Dharma Mahayana scripture, the peace and precious noble Dharma of the Nirvana. So as the peace of the precious noble Dharma of the Nirvanas. So I believe Dharma is mean that bring you peace in you, peace in environment. So what make us not peace? I say our emotion, negative emotion. If any environment, any community, any where increasing your negative emotion is not suitable to you, doesn't matter. So Dharma shouldn't be like that. But of course, we're human beings. We have lots of errors. So precious noble Dharma. And the Sangha is a community of the Bodhisattva or Bodhisattva who attain the great Bhumi. So community of Bodhisattva means that like a live together community. And Bodhisattva of the great Bhumi means that someone who achieved the higher than 8 Bhumi. So basically those Sangha in the Mahayana, Sangha doesn't have to be ordained. Anyone can be Sangha. Long as you are a good practitioner, you are Sangha. I mean, you see the Mahayana Sangha, like Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri, Vajapani, and all those Bodhisattva, they are not ordained appearance. They are lay clothes, wearing jewelry and everything, but still they are Sangha. So there's somebody who have this kind of So this is basically talking about either way, Hinayana or Mahayana or common or special refuge objects as a three: Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Buddha means someone who have a complete knowledge, who who have a complete realization and who totally free from a false. So that is what Buddha mean, you know. Then Dharma mean that when he explained, he taught something, that is a Buddha, like Shakyamuni Buddha taught the Dharma teachings. And Sangha is a people who follow with that instruction. So this that way. So you have to rely on these three to become yourself enlightenment. So this is the fundamental uh, uh, kind of like a motivation of the Buddhisms, you know, as a distinguishing Buddhism and non-Buddhism is a refuge. If you took refuge to the three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you are Buddhism. If you not take refuge to the three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you're not Buddhism. Because you're not following to that path to become a Buddha. Buddhism means that we want to become a Buddha, basically. You want to follow that path. You want to find that path. So who can show that path is a Buddha. You know, what kind of path he show is through that his teaching. Because of in the Buddhism, we don't believe someone who can make you enlightenment. Buddha himself said, I will show you the method to how to become enlightenment, but it's achieved or not, it's up to you. If you follow, like a, you know, in our phone, we have the GPS. Yeah. But just looking the GPS itself, not going to get you to the way you want to go. You have to follow that one, you know. You stay on your couch and just open the GPS, you're not going to get anywhere. So you have to follow with that, whatever Buddha show you, you know, step by step. Everyone equally. There's no special permission to anyone. You know, there's no special access to anyone actually. So everyone have to go to same same place. So that is what is Dharma mean. You know, that's follow to Dharma. Then whoever who follow with that one and the Dharma practitioner. But nowadays we don't have a Buddha. We don't see the Buddha directly. So we need, particularly we need Sangha to guide us. So spiritual master, all those are part of the Sangha. Then here said ultimately Buddha constitute as a refuge for the beings. Ultimately only Buddha is, because when you reach to the certain level, Dharma and Sangha cannot help you. Make sense? Yeah. So you have to let go of them, because they are literature. Without the letting go the literature, you cannot reach to the actually final stage. Like if you want to cross the river, when you get to the other side, you have to let go the boat. Then you actually cross the river. If you not let go the boat, you still on the river. You not yet cross. Make sense? So Dharma and Sangha is like a boat and a boatman. You need them until you cross the river. But once you cross the river, you have to let go them. Then only other side. That is the Buddha. Make sense? State of that one. So that reason, yes, we need the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha until we cross the ocean of samsara. Once you cross the ocean of samsara, then you have to let go the Dharma and the Sangha of the boatman and the boat. Then you reach to the Buddhahood. So that way, ultimately, only Buddha is the refuge. You know, so like in the Buddhism also, sometimes you may see this one. There's three different type of spiritual masters. First, you have to rely on the spiritual master as a person who guide you. That's called the Sangha. Then secondly, spiritual master as your scripture. You know, then you can read yourself. You can, you know, try to understand more deeper by reading, contemplating. So the text, scripture is the second spiritual master. That is Dharma. Ultimately, your own mind is the spiritual master. That is the Buddha. Make sense? So that way, ultimately, it's all come on the Buddha of the Dharmakaya, not the Nirmanakaya, not the Sambhogakaya, only Dharmakaya. Buddha of the Dharmakaya reached to the state of the Buddhahood, complete. So that is showing as a, but these days some people don't want to, without the reaching there, they want to go to ultimate refuge, and also that's not good. Like you still on this side of the river, but you want to let go of the boat, and you don't want to rely on the captain. It doesn't work. You need a reliable captain and boatman and boat, really a good one to cross the river. Until you cross the river completely, you totally rely on them. Once you completely cross the river, then you shouldn't rely on them. You have to let go of them. Otherwise, you're still stuck there. Make sense? So that's why we're using the ultimate refuge as a Buddha, because then some point you have to let go. Like lots of advanced practitioner in the Mahamudra, when you're reaching certain level, then you're not allowed to read the books. Also, when you reach the certain level of the meditation, recitation of mantra, reading book, they become a distraction, actually. But you have the timing, you have to find the time. Otherwise, and you should add here some more of maybe where we are refugee. Yeah. So. So training, there's a called general trainings, mean that make constant effort to offering of the three jewels, even offering whatever one to eat or drink, or not forsaking triple jewels, even the risk of one life. So general training is so now on, whatever we eat, always offering to the food offering. I think these days most of people offering to the Facebook, but you shouldn't offer before Facebook. You should offering to the three jewels. So whatever you eat, even you buy clothes, you don't, even you don't have a prayer, anything, you don't have anything, you don't remember, but just think as I'm going to offer to the three jewels first, this cloth. Then you visualizing yourself, okay, three jewel bless, take, accept and bless and give me back. Now I wear that one. So you can do that way. Even food, first set up, I'm going to offer to the three jewels without your food offering, because sometimes people think that you have to memorize the food offering exactly what there's a text. If you don't know that one, then you cannot do. But you can offering anywhere you want, anyhow you want. But emotionally, mentally, you have to visualize it as a three jewel in the front of you. You're offering this food, you're offering this drink, you're offering this cloth, whatever you're using before, then it accumulates the merit yourself. So anything. So that one. And then called the three particular trainings. Having taken refuge in the Buddha, one should not take refuge in the other deity. This is talking about the worldly beings, because then your direction is different. When you took refuge to the Buddha, the worldly being, as a worldly being, can show you the how to bring you deeper in the samsara. The path is a totally different, directions. So Buddha is a bring to the nirvana. So if you go into the nirvana, then you don't try to make the samsara deeper. That is what it means. And once you take refuge to the dharma, should not harm the other sentient beings. This is the most important part of the dharma. Once we follow to the took refuge to the dharma, if you can help other beings, it's wonderful. If you cannot help anyone, it's okay. But you must avoiding harming other sentient beings. Buddha said, if you harm other sentient being, you are not my follower, I am not your teacher. He clearly made that. So when with Buddhism, if we cannot help other sentient being, it is okay. If you cannot, because there's no way you can help every sentient being who need. Make sense? Even Buddha couldn't do that one. Yeah, there's so many sufferings in the samsara. Buddha couldn't liberate every sentient being from those suffering. But unless what we can do is say we can stop harming other sentient beings. So this is in the Buddhism one fundamental vow or fundamental restraint of the being Buddhism is you're not allowed to harm other sentient being whatsoever. Name of the religion, name of your guru, name of your temple, name of any reason, you're not allowed to harm other sentient beings. If you harm other sentient being, it's you are contradictory with the Dharma practice. Dharma is a positive action. Harm is a non-Dharma, negative. So once you took refuge to the Dharma, you're not allowed to harm. If you can help other sentient being, it's okay. If you cannot help, it's okay. But definitely, big capital no period with the harm. You're not allowed to harm that one. That way I said, training of the taking refuge must, Dharma, we should not harm other sentient beings. Then, having taken refuge to the Sangha, one should not rely on the heretics. Basically, it's saying, now you don't associate with the people who have a wrong, different view, people who believe different way. Because you have to have, if you go with that, you have to have a great skill how to harmonize. Make sense? One is that one is they always become argument when you stay with the people who not sharing the same view. It never become a long-term healthy relationship. It become a huge problem, and later one is two, it will increase your negative emotion, and three, also it have a really dangerous of a bad influencing coming to you. When especially the people who doing lots of bad things, who doesn't believe the karma, who doing lots of bad things, you shouldn't associate with them because it's not healthy relationship. It's going to be destroy your path, destroy your belief, you destroy your view, or destroy your merit. Something negative comes. And there's somebody who was on the Buddhism, then he stay in the Christian monastery, and he said one is the biggest problem is they always are disagreeing. Then through the disagree to become argument. As I said earlier, some people have a really great skill how to deal with that. In the West, I have that is a really good skill. I think I really admire on that. And also, if somebody really respectful your view, who you are, then nothing wrong with that. Two people live in the same house, each one have their own view. If you each other respect, support, then that's good. I met someone, husband is a Christian and wife is a Buddhism, and he even memorized the food offering because he want to do with her food offering. He never become a Buddhism, but he memorizes certain things that they do come together. Make sense? So things like that, then that's so wonderful. But other than that, you have to be careful with associating with if we call the different path, because if you truth is, if you're really different path, you cannot be there too long together, because two different paths, two people same time cannot travel together. Have to be, you have to choose your own path. Makes sense? So this is not talking about that you don't have a friend, you don't have a relationship, you don't have a that's nothing have to do. It's the same as a when you stay with this kind of a like a someone who believe, particularly someone who believe, negative karma is okay, doing the negative is okay, and somebody said really they want to discipline, and these two staying together is sometimes not really helpful each other. So that is what it means. That I don't think so. It's talking about that your belief or not on the Buddhism or not. That is not nothing. I don't think so, because sometimes they have a really healthy relationship with the mutual respect. So you should put that one. And the three common trainings and said respect the Buddha jewel in the every form, the piece of the tata, even the small, broken one, and the Dharma jewel as a book and text, and you have to respect as any word, a precious Dharma, and a symbol of the respect for the Sangha jewel as even the dress. Nowadays people call this is called the Dharma color. Anybody see this color, Dharma color, but some people think this is a red skin color. Football, red skin. One time I was in the Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, walking on the street. I think it's only in Dalai Lama or Khenchen Rinpoche, someone teaching there. So I was there and I was walking on the street, and one guy said, "Yay, go skin." He thought I was a red skin fan and wearing the red skin color. So maybe for him it's nothing have to do with the Dharma. So then you can maybe you can add here also benefit eight different type of benefit from the Adisha route. I can read the 8 benefit. Said, 1, enter into the Buddhist path. Refuge become the foundation for all the other perceptions, like a individual liberation vow, Bodhisattva vow, tantric vow. All can receive the vow percept if you took refuge. And refuge become cause for the purification of all the negative karma. Because once you took refuge, then no matter what you do, it's become a part of the practice of the refuge. That helps you to purify negative karma and accumulate the accumulate earlier, cannot be thwarted. Thwarted?
That means
harm by the different human and non-human obstacles. There are lots of story like this. There was one person who pertained to a good teacher. Okay, then because of that he got some offering, people offering him. And one night one thief came, tried to steal his things. Then he said to him, the thief, when people offering, they offering by both hands. If you want to really take my things, use both hands. So the thief tried to send both hands, and he grabbed them and he hit with stick by reciting the refugee prayer. He was doing the refugee prayer. So he said, I take refuge to Buddha, I take refuge to Dharma, I take refuge to Sangha. And it was the thief, it was so painful. And he said, thank goodness that Buddha only taught 3 jewels. If taught more than 3, he could have killed me. So because he was so painful, and he was just couldn't forget about the word of the take refuge to Buddha. And then he was just resting under the bridge. And at that time, normally some spirit crossing that bridge, but that night they couldn't cross the bridge because he was sitting underneath the bridge and just thinking about the word of the refuge. He's not really practicing. So I think things like that. There's a lot of story that by reciting the three jewels, even someone, there's one story saying it's someone who got the leprosy disease, and leprosy disease is caused by the naga. Actually, we believe that one. Naga's a disease. Most of our skin problem is caused by the. We believe that the naga in the Tibetan. Sometimes too much on that, but so in this person never did any kind of treatment and took refuge. I mean, Lord Jidisumgun, he had a leprosy disease. He wanted to die, but he meditated compassion and took refuge. I mean, he wasn't took refuge a long time, but he meditated compassion to the front of the Chinese, and that day he healed all his disease. And he, without any modern medication, he became free from that disease. So through the power of the prayer and the devotion, definitely can cure lots of disease. There, so that way, the spirit cannot harm you, non-human beings, obstacles. One accomplishing all the one wishes, and one achieve the great cause for the merit. One will not fall into the lower realm, and one quickly achieve the perfect enlightenments. So you will never going to fall down the lower realm, mean that you're not going to reborn in the lower realms if you take refuge. Because what you do is in the intermediate state, in the bardo, after your death, before you're reborn in the next life, then you will see where you're going to reborn. At that time, you have a fear. What do you do? Then you pray to the refuge. If you're done in this life, so then even you're going to be reborn in the hell realm, for example. Once you took refuge, three jewels, at that time in the intermediate state, and you praying that one, and it can change the direction of the rebirth. Actually, that's possible. It's in the Pardo teaching. It's called the Nirmanakaya Pardo. So it's possible to can change. Like sometime U.S. president can forgive the prison's
Pardon.
yeah. There's a way to. So powerful one can help this kind of things. So they can change the direction of the rebirth. I mean, I'm not saying it's a Buddha can make to purify, cleanse your problem. I don't think so Buddha can do, but it can change a certain degree of a rebirth and things like that. So even you create a negative karma to reborn in the lower realm, when you sincerely take refuge to three jewels, you definitely will protect you from those kind of rebirth. And last one is a precept by the taking Pratimosha precepts. Abandoning the cause harm to other, having harmful motivation. These are the types: Bhikshu, Bhikshuni, Sharma, Shamanira, Shamaniraga, Upasaka, Upasika. So this is called the Vinaya. It's Vinaya, they divide it into four different vows, fully ordained, and novice, one day vow, and lay vows. And this divided into two, male and female, that will become 8. But either way, you have a fully bhikshu, ordained, novice, one day, or lay vow. One most important is you have to avoiding the 10 non-virtue in the Buddhism, especially from the physically 3 and mentally, verbally 4. Those are negative. You're not allowed to have a permission to because sometimes when come to the Vinaya vows, sometimes people think that monks and nuns have to follow all those rules, but lay people don't need to follow. That's not true. Everyone have an equal downfall. Anyone who keep the precept, benefit get, and anyone who break the precept can make the mistake in that have create the negative karma. Only different is when you took the precept, the vow, and a certain dress you have to change, like a monk have to wear the dress. And certain things are only different. Otherwise, this is, I don't think so that much different. Even there's namely lots of different things here, 8 different, but it's all is a basic things in the normally like this all have to be avoiding that at least those 5 precepts. 5 precepts. And this one, the 5 precepts are illegal to anywhere you go. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, toxicants. Everywhere, anywhere you go, it's illegal. It's against with the, can say against here? Yeah, against with the law. It's not like only Buddhism have to follow with that, So that way, this is I think everybody should follow with that if you want. And there's a in the text, if you read the jewel ornament, they have one really nice way. Why Bodhisattva need precepts? Because the reason is in the precept teach you how to stop harming other sentient beings, and Bodhicitta teach you how to help other sentient beings. So Gambopa said, if you want to help other sentient beings, first you have to stop harming. Make sense? So how do we stop harming other sentient beings, including yourself? I say, keeping the precepts. Okay, so today we stop here. Thank you, Ms. Hoy. And thank you, everyone.
Kampala, I added the benefits and the trainings.
Okay,
Already added.
okay.